tied to this concept is also the concept of the artist, the genuine artist, the genius. Let me
Mm,
quote something I read from your book from E.T.A. Hoffman. And
mm-hmm.
it's actually from a fictional story that he wrote with Johannes Kreisler. The genuine
Yeah.
artist lives only for the work, which he
Mm,
understands as the composer understood it, which he now performs. He does not make his personality count in any way. All his thoughts and actions are directed towards bringing into being all the wonderful, enchanting pictures and impressions the composer sealed in his work with magical power. A magical power. So he's E.T.A. Hoffman, huge romantic figure. I think about 1776 to 1822, very the beginning of the 19th century. Is he kind of representative of the thoughts that's happening, the idea of the artist? Is that going through a transition out of the 18th century?
yeah. I mean, one of the uh, sort of comebacks or counterpoints to my focus on the work concept when I wrote The Imaginary Museum came from theorists who said it wasn't the work that was so important, it was the change in the status of the artist. That the subject change, the person who did it, that was more significant than the object produced. I had focused on the object. In a good dialectical way, you'd say both come together. You can't have one without the other, which is what, in fact, I said. But anyway, the point was that you had these really significant changes in the notion of an artist being released from courts, from service to the king, from service to church, with the idea of a new kind of bourgeois figure emerging for a new audience, taken away from aristocracy. So you have what Habermas calls the emergence of the public sphere. And with that comes the museums, the concert halls, and then you have to have a bourgeois artist. And the bourgeois artist became in another book I wrote recently called a bohemian artist, the artist who lives alone for art, that he doesn't consider his life important except how many women he can get into his studio. It's the romanticization of the artist as not having care for the world, for dress, for the comforts of living, but you just produce the art and you tend to starve and you die young, and you
Byron.
become Byron, Chopin, you have to die young. The most important thing about the emergence of the artist around 1800 is that it borrows a lot of theological language.
Okay,
The notion of
so
genius originating, being godlike, being inspired, producing something out of nothing. It's all very theological, but it's made secular as you get your programs for concert halls, and audience behavior becomes like going to church, respectful, divine, treu, faithful, fidelity. So the theological background is crucial in this story.